some updates today, so it took forever. Yeah, I had to update everything, so it took a while to get them on. Okay. Ba, 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 ba. Dust, 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 dust. So how's things with you? I haven't seen you in 2 weeks. Things are well.
Either it's in the folder or it's underneath. Because
Maybe it was. No, I looked there.
it should be here.
Now we'll just remember.
I mean, I didn't throw it away.
I couldn't find it today. I was here today. It's weird. Might have been,
Oh, there we go.
I didn't look good enough. I was vacationing.
There we go.
There we go. Now we got it. I want to start.
Test, test. Test, testicles, testicles.
Trying to work out. Like yesterday,
I was gonna say, it's gonna be one.
no, I mean,
Oh, with the name.
like it's fantastic. 2 hours and sometimes it's in 3.5 hours. But you had to keep the potential going back, going down, but before it's about. Because they had to go in, they had to go inland.
That's horrible.
Well, they had to go inland. When they have to go around the spot.
I had them once when they had the volcanoes in.
Oh, yeah.
But there was something.
Yeah, so they had to change it. Like that. 4.5 hours going down. 2 hours. That's what I think. So fun. She says, well, both for
We're a team. I'll follow you.
I don't know how.
The kid's good, she enjoyed her vacation. So her back.
So I took a picture of myself. I said, you know, one for one. I'm like starting here. I switch it.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, let's have a drink. She showed them my picture.
Tonight we're going to start a little bit differently than we normally would begin. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Normally, as you know, we begin with Rabbi Bernie singing a happy song, a nigun. Well, we'll get there, but it's not what we're going to do tonight to start with. As you know, it was International Holocaust Remembrance Day today, so that's a very important reason why we should just pause for a moment and stop and remember the Holocaust and the 6 million of our brethren that perished and the millions of others who perished in the Shoah. It's something that is so important for us not to just pass along or pass by. And then this evening, of course, besides the other terrible news that we've been watching of violence in our own country and the terror that goes on our streets, we also learned tonight of the people that were leaving a shul in Yerushalayim, leaving synagogue, and were gunned down by terrorists. Of course, there was bloodshed in the streets yesterday, and by Palestinian blood as well. Senseless terror. And it's not something that we should ignore. We have to begin our service tonight by accepting the fact that the world needs us to pray. That the world needs us to pray, not just pray little words that we say week after week and they're rote, but pray from our hearts and let God hear us. And make sure that God understands that when we say those prayers of peace, that we mean them. And then the evil in the world, maybe we'll hear God's wrath, just as Pharaoh heard it, that we'll be learning about in our Torah readings. So with that, let's pause for a moment to reflect on the loss of lives, not just today, but throughout our history. And then we're going to rise and reaffirm our faith in God. Let's pause for a moment. For those who passed through the sword, through terror, through violence, through hate, let us turn to page 24 and recite the words of the mourner's Kaddish to remember their souls and to reaffirm our faith in God. Page 24, let's rise and all recite together as a congregation the words of the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabbah, v'yalma divrach hirutei, v'yamlich malchutei, l'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, ba'gala u'bizman kariv v'yimru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lamei maya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yithalal shemei d'kudisha barichu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata damiran v'alma v'yimru amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru amen. Oseh shalom b'mroma, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimru. Amen. May the one who brings peace to his universe bring peace to us, to all the people of Israel, v'al kol yoshvei tevel, and all people who dwell on this earth. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
With that, I'm going to ask you to sit for a second. as we transition to Shabbat with Rabbi Bernie and his famous nigun. Rabbi?
I know, to change from that kind of mode to the other, it's, you got to get yourself together for a second, but
You got to do it. You got to do it. They do it in Israel. It's called Simchat Torah. And, it is.
And we just got to, Shabbat is Shabbat, and we can't ignore it no matter what happens in our lives. Even when somebody passes away, they stay outside for a little bit and then come back in after the Kabbalat Shabbat.
And if there's a funeral and a wedding on the same day, speaking of the wedding.
Oh, I thought it was a shower.
It's not a shower. That's an almost finished chuppah. It'll be finished. So when there's a funeral and a wedding,
Yes.
we normally do the wedding first, but we couldn't because we wanted to finish yesterday.
Yes.
So now that I finished yesterday and it's now Shabbat, let's do the wedding.
Ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da ya da da ya da 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 da
2, 3, 4.
ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom, Shabbat Shalom, hey, Shabbat Shalom, yes, Shabbat, 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 Shabbat Shalom.
There better be good news.
Good news.
First of all, you can see the chuppah. They can see it too now, yeah.
That's good news.
We want to wish the Lubarskis Mazel Tov. As you know, Mark's been sitting over in the corner there and saying, 4 more weeks, 3 more weeks. I wasn't here last week. 2 more weeks. And he's not here tonight to say, no more weeks. But Mazel Tov to the Lubarsky family on the wedding for tomorrow night. And I know they're excited. We're all excited for our mishpacha, our family. So good news for them, right? Good news for them. Anybody with some other good news around here? Any good news? Oh, you don't tell me I came down here for nothing. Hold on 1 second. So the way you do this is you say your name, and then you stand up, you say your name, you can sit, and then you tell us your good news, all right?
All right. Lisa Harrison Austin. And my good news is that my father's brother, Andrew, is here visiting for the weekend for the first time in a long time.
So welcome. And as I told you in the door, it's great to have you. When you walk in the door, by the way, you've been here before, right? So you're really not a stranger. But when you walk in the first time, you're kind of like strange. It's feeling strange. But now you're not a stranger anymore. You're part of the mishpacha. So welcome, and I hope you feel comfortable. You have any good news? Hold on. Tell us your name.
My name is Andy Harrison. I'm all the way here from New Rochelle, New York, the evil empire. But I'm here to visit my lovely niece, Lisa, who I haven't seen since the year my brother, her dad, passed away. And it's lovely to be here among my new friends and new mishpacha.
That's right.
Well, welcome, despite the fact that you're a Yankee fan. It's okay. I got news for you. I got beat up big time where I was this week. I was wearing my Red Sox paraphernalia. Oh my God, those Yankee fans are nasty. Whew.
Just to follow up on that, Rabbi,
I thought I saw something.
Harrison, that was Dr. Walter Harrison, was our ritual director for many, many years.
Really?
Yes, so he was here until he ended up moving,
What do I know?
and he was a very special person in this temple.
Important, very nice. What do you got?
My name is Carol Willens, and the good news is I'd like to welcome Rabbi Perlman back from vacation. I'm glad you had a nice rest, but we're also glad that you're back here.
I have to tell you, I'm glad I'm back too. That's
Me too.
Because I couldn't do much. Anyone else with some good news on this side? Anything? I haven't looked here yet. Yeah, okay, we have some. Don't forget to tell us your name.
My name is Richard Strauss. I'm going to pick up on what you started saying. We had the pleasure last Saturday of not only attending Saturday morning services, but being here to celebrate with the Lebarskis the offer of Eric and Stephanie. And it was a wonderful, joyous occasion. We should have many more of those.
I know I would have enjoyed it, but never mind. I'm not going to say why. Yes, sir. Your name, please.
Barry Falco.
Do I know you?
I hope so. I just wanted to mention for those of you who live in Peabody and get the Peabody Council of Aging newsletter, you'll notice on the front page a couple of paragraphs written by the director talking about Leona Kaplan and all that she has done for the Council of Aging, and just praising her. It's a very nice article, and if anybody wants to see it, I have it here.
That's beautiful. That's good. I'm going to take some copies of that and post it up. All right. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay. We're good? Didn't miss anybody? It is really wonderful to be back. That really is. Yes, Mimi. Mimi told me that I need to use the
rail. We all should.
the rail.
Yeah. Couple of
Yeah,
deep
just
knee
so you
bends,
know, I hurt my knee a little bit, but I'll be okay. It's fine. You know what it's called? You all know what it's called, right? Well, I don't say that part, but yeah, that's what happens when you get a little old. So we started off. We did ask God for some peace. Like now, we ask the angels for peace. So the angels that are up there, I understand the past few weeks they've been playing cards. This week we got to sing a little louder so they'll hear us, and they'll bring the peace for us. On page 13, Shalom Aleichem. We welcome you all in peace.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Asharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Boachem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hu l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Tzedkem l'shalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon. Mi Melech Malchei Amlachim HaKadosh Baruch Hu.
And page 14, Yedid Nefesh.
Yedid Nefesh Av HaRachaman Mishoch Avdach El Ritzonach Yarutz Avdach Kimo Ayal Yishtachaveh El Muhatarach Yeramo Yedidutach Mino Fetzuv V'chol tam yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 yadai dai 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 dai.
Bottom of page 14, let's read together the Sabbath prayer. Dear God, help us now to make this a new Shabbat. After noise, we seek quiet. After crowds of indifferent strangers, we seek to touch those we love. After concentration on work and responsibility, we seek freedom to meditate, to listen to our inward selves. We open our eyes to the hidden beauties and the infinite possibilities in the world you are creating. We break open the gates of the reservoirs of goodness and kindness in ourselves and in others. We reach toward one holy, perfect moment of Shabbat. Page 15, Lechu Neranena.
Lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, lechu neranena, ladonai. Naria, litzo yeshenu nikadma, fana b'toda. Naria, litzo yeshenu, bismirot naria lo. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Lechu neranena, lechu neranena ladonai. Arbaim shana kud bedor, v'almaram toev levavhem, v'hem lo yadu drachai, Hashem nishbati v'yapi, im yivon el menuchati.
Tonight we're going to read page 17 responsively. Page 17 responsively. Adonai is sovereign, let the world rejoice.
God's throne is founded on justice. Though God be clouded from view, divine justice reveals God's presence.
God's lightning illumines the earth. Fire consumes God's foes. Mountains melt like wax before Adonai. The earth trembles.
The heavens proclaim God's righteousness. All people behold God's majesty.
Shame covers those who worship idols, those who take pride in revering images which must themselves bow low before God.
Hearing of your judgments, Adonai, Zion exults and the cities of Judah rejoice.
You are supreme over all the earth, highly exalted beyond all that is worshipped.
Those who have love Adonai hate evil. God protects the faithful, saves them from the wicked.
Light is stored for the righteous, joy for the honorable.
Rejoice in Adonai, you who are righteous, acclaim the holiness of God's name. Ohave Adonai, Sinura, Shomer Nafshot Chasidav, Miad Rishayim Yatzilem. O Zarul Tzadik, Ol Yeshrei Lev Simcha, Simchu Tzadikim Badonai, Yehodu Lezecher Kodsho.
And now we'll rise, page 20, Mizmor LeDavid, page 20.
Mizmor LeDavid, Havu Ladonai, B'nei Elim, Havu Ladonai, Kavod, Va'oz, Havu Ladonai, Kevod Shimo, Ishtach Kavu Ladonai, Behadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai, Al Hamayim, El HaKavod Hirim, Adonai, Al Mayim Rabim, Kol Adonai, Ba'koach, Kol Adonai, Behadar, Kol Adonai, Shover Arazim, Vayishaber Adonai et Arzei Havanon, Vayakidem Kemo Egel Levanon V'Sirion Kemo Ven Re'emim Kol Adonai Chotze Lahavotesh Kol Adonai Yachil Midbar Yachil Adonai Midbar Kadesh Kol Adonai Yechol Elai Alot Vayechesov Ye'arod Uvheichalo Kulo Omer kavod. Adonai lamavu yashav, vayeshev Adonai melech leolam. Adonai oz li'amo yitein, Adonai yivarech et amo v'shalom.
And you may be seated, page 21, L'chadodi, every other stanza.
L'chadodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. L'chadodi lekrat kala, b'nei Shabbat nekabela. Shamo v'zacho b'dibor echad, Hishmianu el hamiuchad, Adonai echad, Ushmao echad, L'shemo tiferet v'lithilah, L'chadodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Migdash melech ir melucha, Kumitzi mitoch hafecha, Rav lashevet be'emek hamacha, Vehu yachamol alayichem la, L'chadodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitorari, kiva ore kumi ori shetaberi. Kivod Adonai alayich nigla, L'chadodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Me'ayulim shisa shosayich, V'racha kul kom mevalayich, Yasis alayich Elohayich, Kim soskatan al kala, L'chadodi lekrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Mo'i v'shalom materet bala, Gam b'simcha v'tzala, Toch emunei am segula, Mo'i chala, Likrat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
May be seated. Let's read the Psalm for Shabbat responsively, page 23. It is good to acclaim Adonai, to sing your praise, exalted God.
To affirm your love each morning and your faithfulness each night, to the music of the lute and the melody of the harp.
Your works, Adonai, make me glad. I sing with joy of your creation.
How vast your works, Adonai! Your designs are beyond our grasp.
The thoughtless cannot comprehend, the foolish cannot fathom this.
The wicked may flourish, spring up like grass, but their doom is sealed. You're supreme forever.
Your enemies, Adonai, your enemies shall perish. All the wicked shall crumble.
But me you have greatly exalted. I'm anointed with fragrant oil. I've seen the downfall of my foes. I've heard the despair of my attackers.
The righteous shall flourish like the palm tree. They shall grow tall like a cedar in Lebanon. Planted in the house of Adonai, they will thrive in the courts of our God.
And they shall bear fruit even in old age. They shall be ever fresh and fragrant, to proclaim Adonai is just, my rock, in whom there ain't no flaw.
4 lines from the bottom, page 23.
Tzadikatama yifrach ke'erez bavanon yizkeh shitolim beveit Adonai bechatrot Eloheinu yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva yeshenim v'radanim yehu lehagid yashar Adonai tzori v'lo avlatavo.
Page 24.
Eidotecha ne'amnu miyod levecha nava kodesh Adonai liorech yamim.
And now on page 24, those saying Kaddish or observing a yortzeit will rise. The mourner's Kaddish, page 24. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah.
Amen.
V'alma divrach hirutei v'yamlich malchutei. בחייכון וביומייכון ובחיי דכל בית ישראל. בגלה ובזמן קריב ויאמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעולמי עלמיא. יברך וישתבח ויפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל. שמי דקדושה בריחו. לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תושבחתה ונחמתה. דאמירן בעלמא ויאמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה. וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו. הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ויאמרו
Amen.
amen.
Now we all rise for the Baruch Hu on the top of page 28.
Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach. Leolam Vaed.
You may be seated and continue silently on page 28. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam.
Umavirim umevi laila. Umavdil ben yom uben laila. Adonai tzvaot shemo. El chai v'kayam tamidim loch aleinu leolam vaed. Baruch atah Adonai.
Baruch Shemo.
Amari v'rabim.
Amen. Everybody, top of 29.
Ahavat olam beit Yisrael, amcha ahavta, Torah u'mitzvot, chukim u'mishpatim, otanu limadeta. Al kein Adonai Eloheinu, b'shachveinu kumeinu, nasiach b'chukecha. ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד. כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו ובהם נהגה יומם ולילה, ואהבתך תעשה ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל.
Top of 30.
שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני Echad.
V'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol avavcha b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'otecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavcha hayom al levavecha v'shinantam levanecha v'dibarta bam b'shivtecha b'veitecha uvelektecha v'derech u'b'shachbecha u'b'kumecha v'kashatam liot al yadecha v'hayu letotafot b'neinecha u'ketavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'v'yisharecha. Something Leman yirbu yemechem v'imei v'nechem al hadama asher nishba Adonai lavotechem latet lahem kimi hashemayim al haaretz.
Together, page 31.
Vayomer Adonai Moshe lemor daber el bnei Yisrael v'amata aleihem ויעשו להם ציצית, על כנפי בגדיהם לדורותם, ונתנו על ציצית הכנף פתיל תכלת, והיה לכם לציצית, הוריתם אותו, וזכרתם את כל מצוות אדוני, ועשיתם אותם, ולא תטורו אחרי לבבכם ואחרי עיניכם, אשר אתם זונים אחריהם, למען תזכרו, ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם, אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים, אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Page 32, ואמן חוזר כרגלנו כרגלנו.
ומלכותו ורצון קיבלו עליהם משה בני ישראל לכנו שירה בשמחה הרבה ויאמרו כולם מי כמוך באלים אדוני מי כמוך נדר בקודש נורא תהילות עושה פלא מלכותך ראו בניך בוקר יום לפני משה זה אלינו ויאמרו אדוני
ימלוך לעולם ועד.
אמר כי ברא את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
Let's read together the top of page 33. Help us, Adonai, to lie down in peace and awaken us again, our sovereign, to life. Spread over us your shelter of peace and guide us with your good counsel and save us because of your mercy. Shield us from enemies and pestilence, from starvation, sword, and sorrow. Remove the evil forces that surround us. Shelter us in the shadow of your wings, O God, who watches over us and delivers us, our gracious and merciful ruler. Guide our coming and our going. Grant us life and peace now and always. Spread over us the shelter of your peace. Praise Yahweh Adonai, who spreads the shelter of peace over us, over all his people Israel, and over Jerusalem.
והגן בעדנו והסר מעלינו אויב דבר וחרב רע ויגון והסר סתם בפנינו ומאחרינו ובצל כנפך תסתירנו כי אל שומרנו כי אל שומרנו ומצילנו אתה כי המלך חנון ורחום אתה ושמור צאתנו ובואנו לחיים ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו V'al kol amo Yisrael. Ve'yam Yerushalayim.
Amen. Now we rise for the Vishamru, top of page 34. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat. Hey, la'asot ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Vishamru v'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Beini uven b'nei Yisrael, oti li'olam, oti li'olam, oti li'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbos la'asot ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Ki sheshet yamim asa Adonai, and hashamayim v'yet ha'aretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Shabbos la'asot ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash, Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat, Shabbos la'asot ha-Shabbat ledorotam berit olam. Yitkadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah. Amen. V'yamad yivrach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayedecha beit Yisrael b'gala u'b'zman kariv yimaru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam lo me'omaya. Yitvarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yiroma v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei kodesha berichu le'yela min kol b'chata b'shirata tush b'chata v'nekemata damihiram v'yama v'yamaru. Amen. And we remain standing for the silent Amidah, page 35b through page 38. And when you're done, you may be seated. So I'm going to continue with Shalom Rav on the top of page 38.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon lechol hashalom. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. B'tov beinecha levarech et Amecha Yisrael b'chol eid ub'chol shah b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Now the middle of page 38. Let's read the words together and stop at that word Redeemer and sing Oseh Shalom together.
My God, keep my tongue from evil and my lips from lies, and help me ignore those who would slander me. Let me be humble before all. Open my heart to your Torah that I may pursue your mitzvot. Frustrate the designs of those who plot evil against me and make nothing of their schemes. Act for the sake of your compassion, your power, your holiness, and your Torah. Answer my prayer for the deliverance of your people. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, my rock and my redeemer.
Oseh Shalom bimromav bimromav hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael Imru amen. Yaseh shalom yaseh shalom shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael yaseh shalom yaseh shalom shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael yaseh shalom yaseh shalom shalom aleinu. Ve'al kol Yisrael Yaseh shalom, bami yaseh shalom.
Yes.
Shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamaru.
Amen.
Amen. May the one who brings peace to his universe bring peace to us, to all the people of Israel. V'al kol yoshvei tevel, and all who dwell on God's earth. And let us together say, Amen. Amen. We're going to pray for those people who aren't feeling well right now. The prayer of the Misha Berach, if you wish to say the name or names of people who you wish to have a refuah shlema, when I stop, you may say the name loud or quiet or whatever, and we refer to our lists. Misha Berach Avotenu Avraham Yitzchak Yaakov, Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, Leah, Hu Yivarech V'Rafei Et. Kol hacholim b'kila kedosha, hakadosh baruch hu yimalei rachamim aleihem. Shlach azikam, refutam yishlach lehem eira, refuah shema min Hashem, efrat hanefesh, efrat haguf. B'zok shechalei Yisrael, shabbatim, elizok, ufo koravo lavo hashta. Amen. May God bring blessing and healing to all those we've just mentioned, all those we know of, those we may not know of, those who are on our personal lists and the congregational list. and the folks in our congregational family who may be ill. May the Kadosh Baruch Hu, the Holy One, mercifully restore them to health and to vigor, granting them physical and spiritual well-being together with people everywhere who may be ill. Mi shebeirach avoteinu mekor habracha leimoteinu. May the source of strength, who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mi shebeirach imotenu mikor habracha le'avotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen. Let's turn to page 47. We are going to rise for Vayachulu, page 47.
Vayechulu hashamayim v'haaretz b'chol tzivam vayichal Elohim bayom hashvi melachto asher asa vayishbot bayom hashvi mikol melachto asher asa vayevarech Elohim et yom hashvi vayikadesh oto kivo shavat mikol melachto kivo shavat mikol melachto asher bara Elohim lasot Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'elahei avoteinu Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Hoel Hagadol, Hagibor veHanora, El Elyon Konei Shamayim V'Aaretz.
And while you may be seated for Magen Avot, those of you who are going to volunteer to pass out the wine and grape juice will do so now. Magen Avot.
Magen Avot bidvaro, Mechaye metim b'ma'amaro, Ha'el hakadosh ein kamohu, Hameniach le'amo b'yom Shabbat kodsho, Kivam ratza le'aniach lahem, Kivam ratza le'aniach lahem, Lefanav navod v'yirav fachad v'nodeh lishmo v'chol yom tamid mi'on habrachot el havodaot Adon shalom mekadesh hashabbat umevarech shevi umeniach b'kedusha Liamedush neoneg, zecher lemase v'reishit. Eloheinu v'lahavoteinu, ritzevim nuchatenu, kodshenu b'mitzvotecha, v'techalkeinu b'toratecha. Sabeinu mituvecha, v'samkeinu b'shuatecha, v'taheh libeinu le'avdecha be'emet, v'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu, v'yahava u'ratzon Shabbat kodshecha, v'yinuchuva Yisrael mikadeshei shemecha, Baruch atah Adonai mikadesh hashabbat.
Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad yivrach yirutei v'yamach malchutei b'chayechonu v'yamechonu b'charechol beit Yisrael, b'agalav ezman kariv v'yimru, Amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevarach, Le'olam olam me'omaya. Yibarach v'yishtabach v'bar v'ramam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yitaleh v'talal shemer kodesha b'richu le'elam min kol v'chatav v'shiratav v'shvachatav v'nachmatav damiram v'yamav v'yimru Amen. Tikabal sotarabot on the Yisrael katam v'hon v'shmai v'yimru
Amen.
Amen. Yehei shlom rabba min shemai v'chaim alein v'chos rabbi v'yimru
Amen.
Amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav v'yaseh shalom Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yimeru. Amen. And now we sanctify God with the Kiddush. Page 49, please rise.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shekidshanu b'mitzvotav v'ratzavanu v'shabbat kadsho v'yavav ratzon hidkilanu zikaron l'maseh bereshit ki hu yam techila l'mikrai kodesh zecher l'tziat Mitzrayim hivanu v'achata V'otanu kidashta mikol ha'amim v'shabbat kadshecha v'yahava uvratzon hinchaltanu Baruch atah Adonai mekadesh HaShabbat.
And when you're completed with your drinking, you may be seated. You know, I told this story. I know I've told this story about this young child in one of my classes when I was younger too, who said, "Rabbi, why do we drink wine when we do the Kiddush?" We said, "Because it's the fruit of the vine." He says, "So why do we say tequila?" You know. So the reason I bring this up, you've heard the story before, but I just saw the kid is graduating from college. How did that happen? The little wise guy he was. So this week, Parshat Bo. Do I have the right one?
Bo.
We're coming, baby. It's about the exodus from Mitzrayim, Egypt, for those of you that don't know what Mitzrayim is. We also received the laws that explain the meal eaten at the Pesach Seder. We learn about the bitter herbs, the Pesach offering. We also learned that we must tell and explain the story to our children in a way that they understand it, regardless of their ability to understand. 3 times our Torah reading says to tell the story to our children. In this week's Torah reading, it says, "And you shall tell your son in that day, saying, 'This is done because of what the Lord did to me when I came forth out of Mitzrayim.'" Notice that the Torah uses the male language because that was the idiomatic usage of the language in the time. Today, we would say that parents should present the story to their children. The Torah reading also says, if your child asks, "Nu, what is this?" you will say, "With the strength of God's hand did the Lord take us out of Mitzrayim, from the house of bondage." Finally, the Torah reading says, now if your son asks, "What is this worship to you?" you should answer the question with the story again of the Exodus. The idea of telling your child the story is repeated one more time, but that appears in the book of Devarim. There it says, when in time to come your children should ask you, "What do the decrees, laws, and the rules that our Lord God has enjoined upon you?" answer them with the story of the Exodus. Why does the Torah repeat the same law that we should tell our children about the Exodus from Mitzrayim 4 times? The answer is located in the Haggadah, in the recitation of the 4 sons. In reverse order from the way I quoted the four verses above, there is the wise child, Rabbi Bernie. Then there's, I'm going to stop naming names at this point. Then there's the wicked child.
You can call me that.
No, you're not wicked. Then there's the simple child. And then the child who does not know how to ask. There's a profound lesson here. We say according to the child's mind, the parent teaches the story. We all know that as much alike as they might be, every child is different. And that is why we are to tell the story of the Exodus in such a way that each child can understand and learn from it. The Pesach Seder teaches us there is no generic way to teach, not only children, but every human being of any age. Since each of us is different, we must be taught differently. As it says in Proverbs 22, verse 6, teach a son according to his way, and when he is an adult, he will not depart from it. This is true about any person of any age. We all have our own way of learning and retaining. Many teachers of B'nai Mitzvah try to teach all of their students the same way, right?
Doesn't work.
Doesn't work. This is done to make it easier for the teacher. And it's a terrible, horrible mistake. It is vital that a teacher see the uniqueness of each student and teach them according to their needs. And that is why professional educators speak of various different methods of learning, such as video, auditory, and kinesthetic. There's no genetic or generic way. There's a genetic way, but there's no generic way to teach because there's no generic student. Interestingly, it was just last week when my brothers and I spoke. Yes, even when I was away, I speak with my brothers. Isn't that amazing? I do. I actually have one brother. I'm not telling you where he is. He would get upset with me if I told you he was in Hawaii. I'm not going to tell you that. Anyway, we speak even when we're away, right? We talked about a child that my youngest brother's teaching, and how he had to teach this child to learn his bar mitzvah because of his unique learning needs. I, of course, was impressed with the amount of flexibility and with the effort of my brother was doing to make it work for the child, but I wasn't surprised because I know my brothers. I know how we work together. Because I also know how I taught an autistic child and many, many other special needs children on my own throughout the years. I've had to deal with this. That's one of the reasons why when parents tell me, well, we want you to do it this way, or we want you to do it that way, I tell them, no way. I need to get to know your child, and I need to teach them their way. Years ago, my father, Oliver Shalom, while I was in Rhode Island, he actually taught a deaf child at my shul how to do his bar mitzvah. And that's how important it is for us all to understand how to learn the needs of the individual child. He learned how to sign to be able to help this child. This is why we teachers and rabbis must not only be specialists in what we teach, it shows us that we must also be flexible and extremely knowledgeable with what and who we are teaching. This is why we rely on our teachers and our rabbis to deliver the message in the proper way. To be a good teacher, it takes training, work, and the ability to understand that even those of us who are trained properly must always remember that every human being is unique. Even identical twins who share a genetic code exhibit differences from one another. This is best taught in one of the most important passages in rabbinic literature. In Sanhedrin 4, verse 5, chapter 4, verse 5, it talks about how God is not like a coin maker who uses one stamp to make coins. And every coin is exactly the same as every other coin. God uses one stamp to make human beings, but every single one of us is different from the other. And this is why each person should always say that The world was created for me. All Jews who participate in a Pesach Seder are familiar with the story of the 4 children. Most Haggadot have illustrations of the wise, Rabbi Bernie, and the wicked, the simple, the one who does not know how to ask. While we spend time discussing the 4 sons, do we really understand the deeper meaning? Frankly, I'm not sure. I'm sure of this, though. No matter how much we discuss it or teach it, you know what? There's always so much that we can learn from it. And with that, I say, Shabbat Shalom to all of us. And O wise one, let us turn to page 51 and rise for Aleinu.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, latet gedula liyotzer bereshit, shelo asanu kigrei haratzot, velo samanu kimishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chalkenu kahem, v'gor aleinu kichol hamonam, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שהוא נוטה שמיים ביוסי הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינתו זו בגבי מרומים הוא Heinu ein od Emet malkeinu efes sulato kakatu b'torato yadata hayom v'hashevota el levavecha ki Adonai hu Elohim b'shamayim mimal v'al haaretz Yaharet mitachad ein od.
Okay, nekabel.
Kakatu b'toratecha, Adonai yimloch li'olam va'ed, v'nema v'hayadonai l'melech al kol ha'aretz, bayom ahu, yeh Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, u'shemo echad.
You may be seated. This week we lovingly recall the yortzites of Benjamin Becker, Ellen Falkoff, Abraham Lipman, Hyman Butler, Mildred Mickey Hebelow, Selwyn Sherman, Eva Brody, Esther Cohen, Beatrice Klein, Mo Weisberg, Irving Pransky, Joseph Schumann, Bessie Phillips, Philip Rosenfeld, Paul Jack Solomon, Sadie Burnham, and Melvin Roseman. Are there any other yortzites? May the faith that binds us to our loved ones be a continuing source of comfort as we now invite those mourning and observing a yortzite to rise. Praise God's name with the words of the Kaddish, page 52. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divrach irutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, b'agala u'bizman kariv v'yamru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam u'lomei omaya. Yiparach, v'yishtabach, v'yipa'ar, v'yitromam, v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar, v'yitaleh, v'yithalal, shemei d'kudusha, barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tu'ushbachata v'nechemata, da'amiran v'alma v'yamru, amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'yamru, amen. Oseh shalom b'mromav hu, ya'aseh shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. You may be seated, and tonight we call upon Mr. Barry Falcoff for the announcements. Barry?
Shabbat Shalom. It's nice to see you, Lisa, and your uncle. Saturday morning services at 9:30 tomorrow. Evening minyan every week, Monday through Thursday, at 7 o'clock in person and virtually. Sunday morning, minyan will be at 9 o'clock, followed by a light breakfast and study. Join us on Monday and Wednesdays for Zumba and fitness. The next religious school junior congregation will be on Saturday, February 4th from 10:30 to 11:30. Our next in-person Havdalah will be on February 4th. It will be a Havdalah Pasta Pajama Party. Check the e-blast for more information. Join the Combined Jewish Women's Organizations on Monday, February 6th at 7:30. Enjoy the music of Jacob's Ladder here at Temple Ner Tamid. A Zoom link will be available. Men's Club Board meeting will be on Tuesday, February 7th. There's a lot going on here. On February 9th at 7:30, Dr. Jeff Newton and Rabbi Perlman will present Jewish Medical Ethics Part 2. Join TNT's Men Club on Sunday, February 12th at 9 a.m. for the Worldwide Wrap. Following the service, will join us for breakfast to be followed by the Temple General Meeting. Contact Elliot and Janice Weiner if you are available to help serve dinner at Haven from Hunger on February 13th. Save the dates: Purim celebration on Monday, March 6th at 6:30, and Sunday, March 12th for our Purim Carnival and lunch. Men's Club Shabbat is Friday, March 17th. Please contact Richard Strauss for either a Hebrew or English part as soon as possible. As you can see, there's a lot happening at TNT. Information for all events can be found on our weekly e-blast. Mazel tov again to the Labarsky family, and Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Boy, that list getting long.
That's great.
Better start preparing Kol Nidre pretty soon.
Well, let's get to Pesach first.
It's already over. Pesach's done. If you want your Passover guide, it's coming out. Don't worry. Page 53.
No, just one thing,
They
Rabbi.
think I'm kidding.
I know, but you mentioned about the
Purim,
four
I
different,
know.
the different types of children that we have, and you have to ask yourself, does our Haggadah really, reach all of those four different types of children? So I guess when they talk about the four different types of children, it gives the answer of how you're supposed to address them. But,
But does it?
maybe we need 4 or 5 different Haggadahs, depending who's sitting at your table,
Well, there are different interpretations of the Haggadah now. There are many different Haggadot that are out.
Yeah.
Some are better than the other.
So I have to say, when I was growing up, I would do the whole thing in Hebrew. And my family that I got married into didn't have a clue what I was saying, what I was doing. And I said it completely defeated the purpose of what the Seder was supposed to be.
Blew it.
I said at the end of the Seder, all they heard was me saying a bunch of Hebrew words and don't have a clue what the story was. And from that point on, I completely changed my point of view of how the Seder should be conducted and added the English in and started to talk about the story, ask questions. And so I have 25 Haggadot that are all in Hebrew, if anybody needs those, because I have no use for it anymore.
But the one thing you had to teach, and I remember this because my little grandson, Brady, who's now, I think, 8, the one thing he always remembered from day one, he's the oldest of the grandchildren. Dayenu, Dayenu. So now that he's gotten older, he says, Grandpa, Dayenu means it's enough. Let's eat. Page 53, Yigdal.
Yigdal Elohim Chai v'yesh tabach nimtza v'yenei tel metziuto yechad v'yen yachid ki yichudon elam b'gam ein sof li'achduto ein lo demut haguf v'yein no guf lo na'arok elav kedushato Kadmon l'kol davar asher nira Rishon v'yein reshit l'reshito He no adon olam v'chol notza Yore Gedulato Malchuto Shefan Vuato Netano Elon Chesegulato Vitifarto Lo Kambi Israel Kimoshe Od Navium Abid Etimunato Torah Temet Natan Liamoel Al Yad Nevio Neman Beitol Lo Yakalifa El Velo Yamidato Liolamim Zulato Sofavio de Yasitarenu Mabilis of Davar Bikamato Gomelish Chesed Kimifalo Notain Larashara Kirishato Yishlach Laketi Yamin Mishichenu Liftod Mechakeket Yeshuato Meitim Yechayael Berov Chasto Baruch Adeyat Shem Tehilato Meitim Yechayael Berov Chasto Baruch Adeyat Shem Tehilato.
And in love, our God restores the life of all our souls. May God be ever praised until eternity. Shabbat Shalom, everybody.
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom, you Zoomers and YouTubers
Good Shabbat.
and Facebookers. Have a good one.
I'm not thinking about that. Just have the thing now, we say there, and we should have the kids tell the story. Let them tell the story. Instead of other than, tell us a story. So, what's the story? I'm listening to you. Let them tell you what the story is. Do the whole. Well, that's
You have to do the minhag.
Do the song. And now let them tell the story.
I like that. And that might
And maybe we can split it.